I'm Paul Andrews here to talk about whether turning your Bronson into a mullet or reverse mullet or 27-9er or staggered wheel bike is really a good idea. So now that e-bikes seem inevitable, for better or for worse, the hottest new horizon in mountain biking seems to be the mixed wheel option. There are many names for it, but I prefer mullet because it's short and to the point, even if it's technically a reverse mullet with a bigger front and smaller rear wheel. But no matter what you call it, a mullet conversion, is it really a good idea for an average rider like me? There's lots of talk that mullets will be mountain biking industry's next big thing. I'm burning with curiosity. I decided to experiment with my new Bronson using two 29er forks, a Fox 34 set at 120mm and a Fox 36 Elite at 160mm. So because of the virus, I wasn't able to do test runs on my favorite trails. I do have some modest city park trails close to home though, where I got enough of a feel for the thing to draw some conclusions. Now with the 120 fork, the bike geometry is almost exactly the same. The shorter travel offsetting the larger wheel diameter because you're gaining 12 to 13, 14 millimeters from ground to axle with the wagon wheel. But what I noticed immediately was the front wheel gyroscopic effect. Steering that thing felt like turning a boat, particularly on tight switchbacks and even when railing berms and basically any kind of cornering. Guessing the travel differential might be a factor. I aired up the rear shock, which helped a little bit. Locking out the shock helped even more, but I never got the feeling of zippiness or maneuverability from the front end. So I kind of ditched that idea and went to the longer fork. Here things got more interesting. There was still a bit of drag on the turning radius, but wasn't a deal breaker. And although the bottom bracket dropped a tad, which I expected, it didn't really feel as much as I thought it would. Instead, most everything lived up to the mullet billing. The smaller rear wheel accelerated better, roosting and cornering, anything involving that rear wheel agility seemed to improve over a long travel traditional 29er setup. It was downhill though where the bike really rocked, as advertised from the World Cup DH and EWS circuits. It's a great combo. The front rollover of the 29 inches and the rear pep of the 27.5, that's a good combo. I also like the big mow on the front wheel and G-outs and chunk. Without the wagon wheel in back, the bike stopped and started faster. Was I overall faster than a full 29er, like a high tower, a mega tower, or offering, a reckoning, a Ritmo, or whatever? I have no idea. But it did feel fast and more in control. And for an average rider like me, psychological advantages are half the battle. But that was just on the DH. On overall trail riding, there were gotchas. Tight switchbacks, that front wheel again felt a bit sluggish, even with the acceleration boost from the rear. Same with catching air, jumps, booters, drops. The bigger front wheel was just noticeable enough to make me think about it. In comparison to my stock Bronson, I never really caught the hang of the mullet. It lost just enough of the Bronson's signature playfulness and responsiveness to make me yearn for the same wheel back and front. And as far as climbing, here the problem was the slackened out seat tube angle. Sitting back further combined with the harder to get rolling front wheel made climbing noticeably more laborious. This was where the altered geometry hit hardest. Of course, this is also a problem that a dedicated mullet surely would fix. Bottom line, modding out a stock Bronson is to me a non-starter. It's fun for a taste of what a dedicated mullet might offer, but the geometry, handling, and agility of the Bronson ultimately suffers too much to go the full route. That's not going to surprise anybody who knows anything about bike engineering, and I did take a lot of heat from friends who said, hey, don't even bother with this. I'm not sorry I did it though. Now I can sleep easy at night knowing that for me at least, until maybe Santa Cruz comes out with a true mullet, I got the best bike it makes. And the drawbacks I encountered do make me wonder if for everyday riding a mullet is ever going to make sense. There's an old saying that a houseboat ain't a great house and it ain't a great boat. For people who want a houseboat, though, it works. Mixed wheels have been tried before in the mass market and never caught on. We'll see if this mullet makes for a different story. Anyway, hope this helps. Comments are always welcome, and see you out on the trail.